Tolito TV.
The 12 Labors of Hercules. Hercules, perhaps the most famous hero of Greek mythology, is famous for his supernatural powers. Like many other heroes, he was a demigod, meaning he was half god and half man. His father was Zeus, the leader of the Olympian gods, and his mother was Alcmene. His great powers began to show when he was born with his brother Iphicles. Hera, jealous of Hercules, sent 2 snakes to eat the babies. But Hercules caught them and drowned them. Many years later, Hera clouded his mind, and Hercules harmed his wife Megara and his children. When he recovered, he went to the Oracle of Delphi and asked Pythia what he should do to be forgiven by the gods. Pythia told him to go to Mycenae to serve his cousin Eurystheus, who had reigned there for 12 years. And if he did that, he would become immortal and ascend Mount Olympus. Hercules did indeed meet Eurystheus. He, however, was very afraid of him, and therefore asked him to do 12 labors, that is, 12 difficult achievements, hoping that in one of them, Hercules would be killed. Hercules' first labor was to kill the lion of Nemea. This lion was the fear and terror of the inhabitants as it descended on the city and ate animals and people. It lived in a cave that had 2 entrances. Hercules waited for it to come out to strike it. When it came out, he shot it with his bow, but his arrows didn't penetrate the lion's golden fur. The lion attacked him, and Hercules hit it on the head with his club, causing it to hide in its nest. Hercules then blocked one entrance with stones and entered through the other. A great battle ensued. But Hercules managed to choke it out. He even took its skin, the lion's skin, put it on, and returned to Mycenae. The second labor Eurystheus asked Hercules to perform was to kill the Lernaean Hydra, another mythological monster. The Lernaean Hydra was a huge snake with 9 heads. If you cut off one head, 2 would grow in its place. So Hercules asked Iolaus for help. Whenever he cut off a head, Iolaus would burn the wound and it wouldn't grow back. But one head would not die, so Hercules buried it in the ground and threw a large stone over it. After this, Eurystheus sent Heracles to bring him alive a terrible boar. The boar lived on Mount Erymanthus in the Peloponnese. It wreaked havoc and killed animals and people. Hercules went to the mountain and hunted the boar for days. After some time, the animal grew tired. Hercules caught it, tied it up, and took it to Mycenae alive. The fourth labor was Hercules, bringing the beloved stag of the goddess Artemis. Which had golden horns and bronze legs. And ran very fast. Hercules hunted it for a whole year to no avail. One day, the stag entered a river to cross over. Then Hercules hit it with an arrow in the leg. He lifted it on his shoulders and took it to Mycenae. After showing it to Eurystheus, he set it free, for he had promised it to the goddess Artemis. Hercules' fifth labor was to kill the Stymphalian birds that lived in Lake Stymphalia. They were large birds with iron beaks and wings, and they ate people. When he arrived, Hercules began to strike 2 bronze rattles given to him by the goddess Athena. The birds came out of the reeds of the lake and flew away in fright. Then Hercules killed most of them with his arrows. Those that escaped fled and were never seen again. Then Eurystheus sent Hercules to clear the stables of King Augeas in a single day. King Augeas had many animals, and the shepherds could not clean the stables. The manure piles were large and smelled bad. Hercules dug 2 deep ditches. The ditches ran through the stables and went all the way to the rivers Alpheus and Peneus. The current of the river entered the ditches. The rushing water entered the stables and carried the manure away and into the sea. So Hercules cleared the stables of Augeas in one day. The seventh labor was for Hercules to go to an island, Crete, and catch the wild bull of King Minos. Flames came out of the bull's mouth, and they destroyed everything. Hercules got on his back, crossed the Aegean Sea, and reached Mycenae. Then Hercules went to Thrace. There lived King Diomedes, the son of the god Ares. He had 4 wild horses that ate human flesh. Hercules killed Diomedes. Captured the horses and brought them to Mycenae. He then traveled to the Black Sea, to the land of the Amazons. The Amazons were beautiful and famous for archery and horseback riding. Hercules fought with them and defeated them. He took the belt of their queen Hippolyta and brought it to Eurystheus. The 10th labor was to travel to the west to fetch the oxen of Geryon. Geryon was a monster that had 3 bodies from the waist up. His oxen were guarded by his dog Orthos. Orthos had 2 heads and a snake's tail. Hercules killed them both. He brought the oxen to Eurystheus, who sacrificed them to the goddess Hera. Hercules was invincible on Earth, so Eurystheus decided to send Hercules to the underworld. He wanted to bring him Cerberus, a terrible dog with 3 heads who guarded the entrance to Hades. Hercules went to Hades, with the permission of Pluto and Persephone, fought with Cerberus, defeated him, and brought him bound to Mycenae. After showing him to Eurystheus, he returned him to Hades because he had promised Pluto. After all, Eurystheus asked Heracles to perform one last labor. He wanted him to bring him the golden apples of the Hesperides. The garden of the Hesperides was at the edge of the earth. There was a tree that made golden apples. Whoever ate them would stay young forever. The Hesperides nymphs and a dragon who never slept guarded the tree with the golden apples. There was also the Titan Atlas, who held the sky. Heracles traveled a long way to get there. He even crossed the Caucasus to free Prometheus. To thank him, Prometheus showed him the way to the Garden of Hesperides, and advised him to send Atlas to get the golden apples. Atlas agreed to go to the Garden of Hesperides, and gave Hercules the task of holding the sky until he returned. The Hesperides made a magic potion and made the dragon sleep, so that Atlas can get the golden apples. When Atlas went to Hercules, he refused to take the sky on his back. He told him that he would take the apples to Eurystheus. Hercules pretended to agree, but he tricked him, and with a quick movement, gave him the sky again. He grabbed the golden apples and returned to Mycenae. After this labor, Hercules was free. Now free, he married Deianira. One day, Hercules and Deianira wanted to cross the Aegean River. There they met the centaur Nessus, who was a man from the waist up and a horse from the waist down. Nessus took Deianira on his back to cross over, but he wanted to take her with him and began to run. Hercules struck him with one of his poisoned arrows. Before he died, Nessus told Deianira to collect some of his blood and smear it on Hercules' tunic so that he would love her forever. At some point, Hercules asked for a clean tunic from Deianira to make a sacrifice to Zeus. Deianira anointed the tunic with the poison of Nessus and gave it to him. Hercules put on the tunic, which stuck to him. He began to have many pains, and he knew that his end was near. He went up to Mount Oiti and made a pile of wood. He lay down on the pile and asked for the fire to be lit, but no one wanted to do that. Only Philoctetes agreed to light the fire. Hercules, to thank him, gave him his poisoned arrows. Suddenly, it began to glitter and thunder. A cloud descended. Took Hercules and carried him up to Mount Olympus. There he was reconciled with Hera. So Hercules managed to become immortal and live on Mount Olympus with the other gods.